Hey you guys, this is Sharzad Morgan here. I've made some videos lately about how women can be so difficult and so unhappy in relationships. And yes, we can. Sometimes it's the woman's fault. Sometimes it's because the man is inattentive, a poor communicator, emotionally avoidant, critical, defensive, stonewalling. So often the man causes this, but not always. Often the woman causes it. So I think that the difficulty in relationships goes both ways, but there's one area in which I think that women have to be especially careful of men is when it comes to sex and pregnancy, because I know so many women who are single moms because they're good-hearted, they fell in love with some guy and he's a total loser. He does not want to grow up. He's a Peter Pan. Peter Pan. He goes around impregnating women because he's charming. Or he's a loser who sleeps on his mom's sofa, can't get a job. He might be in his 20s, his 30s, his 40s. He can't get a job. Somehow managed to get somebody pregnant while he was charming, and now this woman is stuck raising this child alone. Whether they were married or not, often these are cases where they never married, I think. Ladies have to be a lot more selective. And you didn't know, I'm not blaming you, you didn't know. But you can learn from all the women who had children with men who didn't want to be fathers. I would recommend, there's some things I did right in my life, there's some things I didn't. One of the things I did right in my life is that I did have some boyfriends that I just fucked around with, that's true. But one of the things that was very important to me was to be with a man who was college educated, and that came from my family. That's not so important now. But to only date men who want to be fathers. To only date men who want to be fathers. That's very important to me. Me personally. Now, some of the people watching my videos do not want to be fathers, and that's fine. You can watch my videos, but I would never date you. I would never fuck you for free. I think that women having sex need to consider only having sex women who are fertile. I think it's important. You just consider, I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what I think is important. To only have sex with men who want to be fathers because you could get pregnant. And if he doesn't want to be a father, that, like, what are you guys going to do? Did you talk about, like, are you going to have an abortion? Would he help pay for it? I'm not opposed to abortion. I had a couple while I was in high school or college. I can't remember. It was one in high school, one in college, because I wasn't ready to be a mom. And my boyfriend at the time paid for half of it. She was responsible enough for that. But do you know how many women I know who are wonderful single moms? I just talked to one the other day, and the baby daddy is just gone. And the family wants nothing to do with this wonderful child. Often, sometimes the grandparents are involved, sometimes they're not. There's so many losers out there, and I think women have to be very selective. We are supposed to be selective, and I think a lot of women are not selective enough. And then we end up with these loser men who abandon their own children and make the woman's life difficult because she's stuck now raising this child on her own. Maybe her parents help, maybe his parents help, but I think that women are just not choosy enough. One thing I did do good in my life is I picked a really good dad for my kids. He was there. He was there for me, he was there for them. And ladies, you just have to be very selective. I just made a video earlier today about, what men should look for in a relationship with a woman who's emotionally stable. But a lot of women are, when it comes to us women, it's not just about being happy in a relationship. It's about, what if we get pregnant? Is this guy going to be there? Does he want to be a father? Is he going to be a good father? And I think that more people ought to talk about that. There are fewer people talking about being parents. I mean, It used to be when I was a young mom, every time I went to the grocery store, to Trader Joe's, to Target, I was surrounded by other moms. There were children, babies in the carts, and I go out during the daytime like I always did. I shop in the daytime like I always did. It's so rare for me to see children. It's so I can go for a month at a time and never see a baby in my neighborhood. And I live in a family in a suburban family community. It's so rare for me to see babies anymore. Like fewer people are having children. I remember when Murphy Brown was on TV in the 80s, and it was a big shocker that Murphy Brown was like this up and coming feminist news anchor. And when she turned out pregnant on the show as part of the show, and it was a woman having children, a baby, she didn't need a man. But I don't think that they gave the proper message on how fucking hard that is. Now, Murphy Brown probably could afford nannies and all that, but still, your children want you. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, it's difficult. Children need a father. I made another video about fathers, masculinity. Some men got very triggered by it. You know, you guys that want to get triggered about being masculine, about being fathers, about children, you can still watch the videos, but you're not my tribe. You're not my tribe, and you are not contributing to the healthy upbringing of children, a topic that I'm very passionate about. Children need fathers, and children need mothers, and they need to be loved. And I stand for that. So knowing that, I think women have to be very careful where they spread their legs. Does this guy like children? Would he be a good father? That has to be a guiding light, not is he hot? Does he make a lot of money? And even these guys that are on the body count stuff, a woman's body count tells you nothing. Would she be a good mother? And that's what a lot of men look for when they marry. Would she be a good mother? And I think that's what women need to look for before they have sex. Would he be a good father? Because the world is full of mothers who are struggling, where the guy just ran off. Especially in the African American community, you will see this. Other communities too. You have these men who are Peter Pans. They are emotionally immature guys. They get a woman pregnant and then they just run off and get somebody else pregnant. And it's not just hard on the mom, it's hard on the children, because the children never had a dad and they feel abandoned. Where's my dad? This little boy or this little girl sees other children having a dad and goes, where's my dad? How come I don't have a dad? Doesn't dad love me? Ladies, you guys have to be a lot more careful about, when you're fertile, you have to be very careful about what sperm you let in your vagina. Because you're hurting yourself and you're hurting your children with your recklessness. And you didn't mean to be reckless, you didn't know, but you are being reckless. So I am preaching here. And children don't need, if you're busy working a lot, that's not the end of the world. But the end of the world for a child is not feeling loved. Knowing that their parents wish they never had them. Knowing that their parent never wanted to see them. Now, my parents were very busy. I played alone a lot outside as a child, but I felt loved by my parents. That's the important thing. But when you never see your parent, you're not loved. They don't even want you. And children feel that. And it's every unwanted pregnancy, unless it's like forced, is a mother who was not choosy enough. So all these guys who are like, why don't you want to have sex with us? Because you're not father material. That's why, buddy. That's fucking why I'm not going to fuck you for free. Even though I'm not fertile anymore, I still go by that. Would this guy be a good father to my adult children I already have? And if you're not, you're not eligible to be with me. There's no benefit, ladies, in being easy. I weed out a lot of guys because I'm not easy. You know what? I'm going to make a video for my members area on this maybe. But some guys, they're very charming and all that, but they'll only fuck you if you make it easy for them. You don't require very much. They don't have to take you out. They don't have to have a job. They don't have to have their own place. They don't have to have any ambition. They just have to charm you with their words, and you're going to spread your legs because you don't know any better, because you didn't have a dad yourself, maybe. And you don't require anything of the guy. The way to get a guy who's good father material is to have standards. And that means you're going to weed out a lot of these losers and this riffraff. I've had guys that want to go out with me, and I gave them my email instead of my phone number. Oh, now they want nothing to do with me. It's too much trouble. Good. If you don't want to email me to get together with me, you need my phone number so you can text me all day long. You want it to be convenient. I don't want you. There are other examples like that. Guys who wanted it to be easy, like, oh, will you come to my part of town? No, I'm going to be very friendly. I'm going to be well dressed. I'm going to honor you and appreciate you and be very, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. But I'm not going to try to make it easy by falling into your lap. So ladies, you're not doing yourself any favors by being easy. You should have some standards for yourself. And these standards that you have, men love standards. They love standards at the gym. They love challenging themselves at the gym. Oh, they'll pump that weight. They're sweaty. They're just grunting. Oh my God, get that weight up. Ooh. But you give them an email, that's too much trouble. We have to weed these guys out. I'm very good at weeding guys out because I do that for a living. I weed them out. That's part of my job. And what I look for in a guy is the same energy that a guy brings into wanting to lift weights, he should bring into being with you. He should want to be a better version so he can have you. But he will only do that if you have standards. If you have no standards, he has nothing to rise to. It's just going to be like, well, she's another easy lay. I'll call her when I get around to it. But if you have standards and he wants you, he's going to love the challenge. Men love a challenge that's worth attaining. Like, we all love a challenge that's worth attaining. Like, oh my God, I worked so hard on this test. I really want to get an A. I'm going to study really hard. Like a purpose, a calling, something to excel to. But you make it easy. I think a lot of women just want to make it easy because they don't know. They didn't have a dad, so they don't know. Anyway, that is my counterpoint to men who complain about women who, do this or do that. I think that women have to be very selective when it comes to sex. And I think that we women, since we can get pregnant, we have to always keep in mind that we can get pregnant, which is a great privilege that nature gave us, and that we should only date men who can love the children we already have, or the children that could be born out of that sexual relationship. That's my own personal way that I gauge men. And you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. Like, oh, I just want to fuck around. But that's what I'm here for, to make a video about all the single moms and how they got to be single moms. Is because some loser riffraff guy is irresponsible and doesn't want to be a dad. And how did that happen? Because she was not choosy enough. That's all I want to say. that every unloved child is the result of a woman who didn't exercise the discretion that we're born with, the selectivity we're born with, because she didn't know. And so videos like this are going to help women know if you already are an unwed mother with a child, it's too late for you. But if you're not, this video like this could help you out to be more selective. That's all I want to say in this video.